Welcome back to another episode of the Gauntlet with Timmy and myself.
Meow.
Timmy, how you doing today, man? Obviously, I got the most masculine coffee cup ever, and we're just setting up now. How you doing today, my friend? My friendly
I'm
cat.
doing good. I'm doing it good. It's beautiful. It's noon here. Beautiful Saturday, early afternoon. I'm doing well. I think last week we talked about some of the world events. It looks like they're still not much improved. So that's on my mind. It's a little bit of a downer for sure. So it's kind of weighing heavily on my heart. But otherwise, I'm trying to stay positive and doing good. We have some nice weather here. So Timmy's doing all right. How are you, Jay Crypto?
Dude, I'm actually just thankful. I'm kind of uh, it's similar. It's a really crazy time that we're living in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of incredible innovations happening. There's a lot of conflict and strife, and I'm just thankful, to be here. Really. So I'm thankful to be here on the Gauntlet with the show to be able to talk about all the crazy things we're going to talk about today. What is on the agenda today, Timmy, by the way, for the audience?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have an interesting mix today, and we're
Mhm.
actually going to do something a little bit different, a little bit new. We're talking about a mix of NFT projects and metaverse projects and DeFi. We're actually going to start mixing some non-NFT projects into the show. So I'm really looking forward to talking about some DeFi as part of the Gauntlet today, kind of a new direction for the channel, really kind of pushing the envelope and challenging Jay Crypto and I to research more than NFTs and to really learn more about the space. So I'm looking forward to that. The first project is actually Adatropolis, which is it's been really kind of under the radar. I feel like Jay Crypto, like they've got some pretty beautiful art, Adatropolis, but like it's just not a lot of people have learned about it yet. So I'm really excited to kind of shine the spotlight on Adatropolis today. That's our first story. And then our second story is we're going to look at a bunch of metaverses. We're going to start with Pavia. Have you heard of Pavia, Jay Crypto? Are you aware of Pavia? You never talk about it. What there you go. So the second story will be a look at some metaverses, Pavia. I think you might want to talk a little bit about Metadams.
Yeah.
And
Unsponsored, by the way, on that.
Yep.
I just think it's gaining a lot of buzz, it's gaining a lot of traction, and they've really got a lot of interesting partnerships. I think people would be I think people would like to hear. I think it would be valuable for the audience to kind of hear what they're doing. They might be one of the first metaverses to launch too. They're really far along from what I've heard.
This is a nice comment here from Chef Bruno Brujo. I think let's talk about this maybe at the end of the show, Chef. At the end, we'll talk about a bunch of different projects, kind of more casually. But that's cool that Nifty is actually minting today. So let's make sure to revisit that comment later. So yeah, so the second story today is a bunch of metaverses. I'll also talk a little bit about Boss Planet, and then our third story is a DeFi story. We're going to talk a little bit about Genius Yield, which is a really interesting project, and they've had a ton of updates over the last week. And so we're going to kind of share the latest news with Genius Yield. Here's another one from Edgar J. Crypto about Metadams. So, I'm not familiar with this project. Are you buying today? What's happening today? Or I don't want to get ahead of the story, but maybe
Yeah,
we could.
so I didn't know if I was going to be able to buy today because I knew about our live stream and I don't know how long it's going to go. But I believe that the mint is happening at around 4 p.m. Eastern, and right now it's like 2 o'clock. So yeah, I might have some time. But either way, I was super early on that project. They did sponsor me back in the day
Oh
when they
wow.
were first getting minted, and if you bought 10 BBs, you get airdropped 5 land parcels. So I'll be getting those eventually. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's an interesting one. It's really, to me, a metaverse for right now, people that for users. And then for the landowners, I think it's a really valuable metaverse for landowners that own a lot of ADA.
Oh wow, that's interesting. And you talked about BBs. What are BBs? Was that an earlier part of the project or?
Yeah, so that's like the kind of characters that they've 3D rendered, and they were like PFPs, but now they're 3D rendering in it. And the only way to access the first kind of iteration of Metadams will be if you have a BB or a land parcel. But you'll be able to use your BB now as like a 3D rendered character. And they've shown some clips about it, actually. It's pretty interesting.
Cool. And I saw this comment about Adatropolis. Adatropolis will be our first story once we get started in a couple minutes here. This is from Boo Crew NFT, and I was actually reading about the Adatropolis team, and there's someone on their team called Patrick, and then Kyle as well. And I think Kyle actually might be part of the Boo Crew team, or there's kind of like some kind of affiliation there. I know Kyle did some work on the NFT Maker videos, and there's someone on the Adatropolis team that has experience with Boo Crew NFT. I think it's Kyle. Maybe we'll go through that when we get the team section up in a bit.
And then we're just getting some love from the community here, Timmy. Sirla Peach, I believe. I always say the Peach because Sirla Peach is always commenting on a lot of our stuff, I've noticed. So we appreciate that. And then so is Vince Petrick. I always see that boss cat, in the comments of videos and things. So I really appreciate you guys and gals. But yeah, man. So what do you say, Timmy? Do you want to kind of get the ball rolling here, or what do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm happy to follow your lead, J Crypto. You're the boss. So if you want to get started with Adatropolis, we could do that. We're already getting up there in the view count. Thanks everyone for kind of jumping on here.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. So I'll share my screen so people can kind of see what we got going on here. Let me just go like this.
Infinity.
Oh, some technical difficulties here. All right, it looks good. We're gonna close out the Discord. So Adatropolis. So right away, I'll start at the Twitter. These are kind of the characters we can see in the background here. They're at 1,500 followers. Somebody that's been a longtime subscriber in my community, Earl, is behind this project, and he's been, following me and my journey. I think he's been following you too, Timmy.
Oh, wow.
For a while. So it's pretty interesting that he's now doing his own project, and he's been planning it, I believe, since Q4 of 2021. So this is kind of what the characters are going to look like. Now, the synopsis of this project includes a couple of things. The profile picture kind of NFTs is one part of it, but then there's also a game. And then there's also a partnership that they sort of have established with the people that are going to help them implement their game. And it's actually very interesting looking into the partner behind that and what they've done. But before we get there, why don't we have some fun? Just look at their website. Timmy, you said before that you think that they have some beautiful artwork here. Basically, the whole lore behind the story is pretty fun. So it's kind of like the name, right? Adatropolis. Okay, so what is Adatropolis? Well, as the legend goes, years ago, the Adachians came to Earth. So these are the Adachians. Maybe some of us have Adachian blood in us. I'm not sure.
Is that a play on like Kardashian? Is that kind of where it drew inspiration from, I wonder? The Kardashians?
It's like that's hilarious, dude. That is hilarious, actually. Let's keep reading though for the audience, but that's hilarious. We'll have to ask Earl. They wanted to share in the fun that the Earth was universally known for, but something wonderfully and unexpected happened when they arrived. The Earthlings and the Adachians fell in love with each other. So this is kind of like a boy meets girl kind of thing. You see, Earthlings are known as the most beautiful species in the universe, and sometimes we might forget that. But that's kind of like, I'm very bullish on humans in general, so I just want to highlight that.
We love the humans.
They soon married and had children. These children are known as the Adatrops. So that's kind of the whole deal right there. Half human and half Adachian. They have beautiful shades of skin, and are now our brothers and sisters all over the world. So maybe we're Adachians, and maybe your mom, Timmy, is an Adachian or something. I'm not sure.
I'm an Adachi cat.
Maybe. Some even have, maybe that's why you're blue. Some even have unique talents that ordinary humans don't have, and they are knowledgeable and funny. The Adatropolis enjoy adventure and discovering new things. That's kind of what the Cardano community is all about. But they are very protective of Adatropolis and all who live within. And maybe there's some truth to that, to what Cardano kind of stands behind with being protective of decentralization. The Dacians also brought new and exciting tech to Earth, which the Adatrops love to use. The Adatrops' grandparents, the Dacians, who came to Earth previously, had left several years ago to continue exploring the universe. But before they left, they swore that they would return to Earth one day with universal treasures and best galactic tech in all the universe. When will they return? Only they know when, but until then, the Adatrops will go about their wonderful lives of adventure and play. But on occasion, the Adatrops are forced into protecting their communities, and they do so heroically. Adatrops often imagine what it would be like to travel the universe as their grandparents are doing while awaiting their return. So what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments of the lore. Okay, this is kind of the first part of the Adatropolis review. But what we're doing here is Adatropolis is sponsoring us to kind of show off some of what they have and get some feedback. So let us know what you think of the lore in the comments first and foremost. Timmy, do you have any comments on the lore before we move on to the next kind of portion here?
I really like one thing they're doing that I really like, and this is a trend, of course, we're seeing in a lot of CNFTs, is building like a sense of community, like a society, right? There's a ton of projects that have society in their name or club in their name, right? Or gang or something like that. And I think the way they've set up the lore here is they're going to be able to build this kind of society, right? The Adatrops, you can be a member of that kind of that culture, a member of that tribe. And I know they're talking about kind of showing us what the male Adatrop will look like, but then later the female Adatrop in more detail. And so I think like, you're going to be able to pick like, okay, do you want to be on, one of those teams or maybe some other subcultures and subgroups that might exist in the Adatrops universe. So I think it's great. I think they've got like a beautiful canvas here to build out like a rich society and like add some real texture and get that tribalism, like positive tribalism, the way we have with sports teams. I think is like really, really cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm very interested in their game because like it's amazing. We talked about Metadams earlier. When I first heard that they were trying to do a metaverse and how far they've come, and now I've seen some of their demo videos, I didn't really think that they would come as far as they have, but they've really impressed me. And when we talk about games, it's an ambitious task, but I mean, Earl seems very confident, and he has this partnership, which we'll talk about later. So it is interesting. I think that's a huge piece that they need. That's a huge challenge and undertaking. But I'm excited for them because sometimes taking on those big challenges is what pays off the most.
Yep.
So quarter 4 of 2021, basically they just had a foundational sort of era for the project on everything for like the actual project, the PFP side of it, and then the game side of it. Quarter 1 of 2022. This is their roadmap. So let us know what you think of their roadmap. They're introducing Adatropolis and its inhabitants, Adatrops, male character introduction. They're building that community. So like Timmy was talking about, building that lore to create a foundation for the community. And then the first CNFT minting an issue of the Adatropolis collection. Giveaways, contests, donations, Adatropolis female character introduction will come after that, and I believe that the mint is for 49 Ada. Is that correct, Timmy? It's going to be about 49 Ada, and it's coming up in the next couple of weeks here.
Yeah, actually, why don't we actually go over that right now? Because I think that's pretty important. The mint is actually happening next Saturday, and
Mm,
what's really interesting, it's happening on March 12th, next Saturday, and it's happening at 7 p.m. UTC. And you know what time that is, J Crypto? That's the time that this show goes live. They're
wow.
actually minting at 2 p.m. Eastern next Saturday, which is pretty cool. Maybe we'll do something fun on the channel while they're minting. The mint price is
Hmm.
47 ADA. So 47 ADA to get an Adatrops, and it's all happening next Saturday. They do have a whitelist program as well. And so you can kind of jump into the Discord. They've got some giveaways. They've been doing some fun kind of contests and games. And so, yeah, there's a lot happening actually in the Discord for this project. But the high level details are next Saturday, March 12th, 7 UTC, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific is when it all goes down.
Well, there you have it for the mint details. That sounds pretty cool, Tim. So why don't I get over to the next couple parts of the roadmap really quick, and then we can kind of talk a little bit about that, virtual XR VR partnership that they have, or AR, excuse me, partnership that they have to help build the game, and then we can kind of hand it off to you. So just really quickly, what do they have for quarter three? Well, I think that it looks like they're going to be using this mint to kind of, jumpstart the rest of the development of the project. It looks like to me. This so like I said, the female character introduction in quarter 2021, and then for quarter two of 2022, second CNFT minting. That's when we're going to see those females. Adatrop special delivery introduction. Third CNFT drop special delivery 1490 to randomly chosen holders. About maybe those will be babies, maybe Adatropolis babies. I've
Oh,
seen
wow.
that play. I don't know exactly what it will be because it's kind of a special delivery. So I know that when we were, we saw those cartoons where the moms and dads had a tough time telling their children how children were being made. So they told them that, these birds would drop them off like a special delivery. So it'll be fun to see what the heck
Oh, wow.
they decide to do there. But I'm excited. It's our way of saying thank you for your support. So that'll be fun. And then you'll see a sneak peek at the game and updates. More info on the game and direction will be released. Major website updates, and then quarter three of 2022, introduction to Adatopia and its inhabitants, giveaways, contests, Adatrops, 3D male and female character introduction. So give us some feedback on what you would like to see in this roadmap. If you would want it to be condensed, if you'd want it to be less wordy, or if you think it's great, give us some feedback on what you guys think, just so that way the team has something to run with here. And if you're from the Adatropolis community, then you probably have heard a lot of feedback from other people in the Discord, things of that nature. Really valuable to let us know what you think, so we can kind of keep telling the team. It sounds like this Adatopia thing will be maybe what they call like a city or something in the game. So I'm very excited to see that. Meet the team video, Timmy will kind of go over a little bit later, but we did see that in their team section, okay, this is Adatropolis, and then this is the team section. We see the virtual wild. So what is the virtual wild? It's kind of interesting. So I went to the website, the Virtual Wild, and they say that they're award-winning XR and experiential creative agency. So that's part of the team, it says, which is it's pretty interesting. And Timmy, you were talking about how they've done a lot of mix of XR, so virtual reality, things of that nature. And it'd be kind of fun to hear your thoughts on what you think about the virtual wild too, before we get into maybe that team video.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Like you can see like some of the games and some of the projects they're highlighting there on the website, and you can see that there's like children and there's like real humans that are like part of the experiences. And so I think what they're doing is they're building these experiences that are mix of like virtual reality, augmented reality, and experiential reality. And I saw like there's some images of them taking children like on a field trip, and so there's an educational element to it. Obviously, in the museum, there's some education as well. And so I think this agency, like, they're really pushing the envelope in terms of multimedia and like, the latest cutting edge of technology. And from what I understand, the Adatropolis team has partnered with the Virtual Wild team. And so the Adatropolis team isn't going to try and do a beautiful NFT collection and build a game at the same time. They're partnering with a game development studio, and that studio is going to build the game for them. And so I think that's really smart, kind of like swim in your lane, do partnerships. It makes me have a lot more confidence in Adatropolis actually being able to deliver a game. So yeah, I'm happy that they found a development partner.
It's something that maybe other projects can take a note from too, and maybe go into their project. If there's a newer project watching too, it might be a good little idea to outsource that before you even start, instead
Absolutely.
of waiting for all the funds to figure out how the heck you're going to build a game. And it's funny because I've been noticing on TikTok recently that like NFTs are getting this rep where every NFT promises a game,
Or a metaverse, which is
or a
like
metaverse,
an
or
ultra
a
game.
DAO, or something like that. And not every single one's going to succeed. And I 100% agree. So
Yeah.
it's kind of it'll be interesting to see what this kind of collection of Adatropolins behind the project end up creating. But we'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. We'd really appreciate that too. Timmy,
Yeah.
did you? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I like this comment from Kyle. Kyle gets it. Kyle's on the team. He's on the Adatropolis team. And he talks about like focus on what you're best at, and then partner with others, collaborate with others for what they're best at. And this is where like the sum of all parts is like greater than the sum of individual parts. And so, 1 + 1 = 3 when you start to partner with the right people. And that's why I'm so happy to be partnering with you, J Crypto. Like you're really good at NFTs, really good at the metaverse. And so it helps the Gauntlet become a better show by partnering together. And I love how Adatropolis has partnered with the Virtual Wild in the same way.
Yeah, man, I don't know what it means to be good at NFTs or the metaverse, man, but I'm having a lot of fun. So I appreciate that. But I just have a lot of fun doing these shows, and it's fun to speak to a virtual cat for the audience. If you've ever done it, it's actually pretty entertaining because sometimes I just look at this screen and I'm like, what am I doing? It's ridiculous if you
What
think
has my
about
life become? What is my life? Okay, let me maybe take over for a minute, J Crypto. I'd like to show you some of the socials for Adatropolis. Let me just move over to my computer here, and I'll be right back. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I'll actually go ahead and make myself big and make you really really small there if I can, J Crypto. Oh, is that as small as I can get you? How do I
Yeah,
make you even
I'm
smaller, like 1 pixel?
yeah,
Is
I'm
there any
sure
way?
you would like to make me smaller, Timmy.
Maybe.
We get it,
What could I
man.
do? All right, so this is their Discord, and I want to give everyone first a call to action. The CTA today is to join the Adatropolis Discord. You can see they've got 262 humans in their Discord. They've also got one cat. They haven't actually set up a separate row for me here, but there's 262 humans and one cat in the Discord. Let's see if we can get that over 300 maybe during this live stream. I'm just going to slide over here, clean up my Discord. There we go. So with this project, J Crypto walked you through their website, but there's actually a lot happening in their Discord. Some of the projects really use the Discord as the hub for information. Yeah, I hear you, Peter. I hear you. And this one is actually using Discord as their hub.
Yeah.
Timmy's not the same when he's not speaking fast. So what I would encourage you to do is jump into the Getting Started channel, and this channel is a really good place to start. They walk through kind of the highlight of the project. They talk about the supply. There's going to be 10,000 of these NFTs, and they talk about their partnership with the Virtual Wild. and on and on. But then they've got a beautiful roadmap channel here. It's all linked from the Getting Started channel. So that's what I would use as the hub. And then you can click on roadmap. And what's cool is the roadmap here is a little bit more updated than the website roadmap. It's just a lot easier for projects to update a Discord message than, push new content to their website. And you can see here everything that they've completed. So that's pretty cool. They hit all of their Q4, their fourth quarter milestones from last year. And now they're well into the first quarter. They've already introduced the male character, and they're building their community. That's a big part about what we're doing here today. And then they're going to be doing their first mint. Their first mint is next Saturday. And then you can see here all the other stuff that's happening later in their roadmap. So I would encourage you to kind of join their Discord and kind of use the Discord as the source of truth. I find that this is like a great way to get information for this project. So jumping back to the Getting Started channel, they've also got a frequently asked questions channel, and this isn't on their website, but it's here in the Discord. And I found this super, super useful. This is where I learned that the mint is actually in March. And then we reached out to Earl, and he let us know it's actually March 12th. But I love this section here around why they chose Cardano, not Ethereum or Solana or one of these other chains. And they talk about how there's really no other choice. Cardano has very low fees, low barriers to entry, science-based, peer-reviewed, and on and on and on. Some other benefits here is that Cardano is actually really good for the economy. Or for the environment. We're a green blockchain. And so I love when projects talk about why they chose Cardano. One other thing to highlight here is it's an LLC. So this project is really doing everything right. They're registered as an LLC. They're doxed. You can meet all of the team. And they're partnered with a development studio. They're not really cutting any corners. You can learn more about their team. Their main artist here, Adwa, and then Earl has a little blurb here on himself. They talk a little bit more about the game that they're building, and the roadmap for the game. And I like how they're saying by Q4 there might be a testable version, but the real full game won't be until summer of 2023. And I think that's more realistic. Like, I used to work in the game industry, and games take 18 months, 2 years with a team of 50 or 60 people. And so when you see an NFT team of 4 or 5 people, well, if you do the math, it should take them about 8 or 9 years to make a game. And so, even this is pretty ambitious to try and do a game by next summer. And so I like that, they're not saying a game is going to be done tomorrow. It's very kind of realistic, very conservative. And they also talk about, maybe doing more with their game in the future, maybe doing a metaverse or something like that. So check out the FAQ section. And then I'm just going to jump back to the Getting Started channel because this is kind of the best place to start with this project. But now we're down to 261. How did that happen? We were at 262 and we lost someone in the Discord. That's interesting. Let's get it back up there. You can jump to the announcements channel. And in here, you can really get caught up on all of the news that's happening. So take a look at that. They've got a bunch of contests, a bunch of whitelist info here in the announcements section.
And one thing too, Timmy, just in case people aren't watching live and they're watching after the fact, we'll put the links in the description of the video. So for the Discord, the Twitter, and whatnot, we'll put those in there.
Really, really good call. And then I wanna call out a few things here. Actually, in the teasers channel, you can see a little bit more of the art. I kind of really like it. It reminds me of Disco Solaris, but it's like an updated version. It's kind of like that kind of synthwave 1970s, 1980s retro, but brought up. I don't know if you ever watched the Jetsons. I like this shirt. Look at her shirt. It looks a lot like mine. It's like the female version of Timmy here. It's the pink version of my shirt. So really, really well done. I like the art here. And I think we were looking at this one. This guy's my favorite. I love the color of his skin. This guy looks a lot like me as well. Beautiful purple visor here. So check out the teasers channel. There's also a movie here. I won't play it now because of the sound, but that's the teasers channel there, giveaways channel. They're doing a lot of partnerships with different projects, as you can see here as I scroll up. So very, very cool. Yeah, definitely some Jetsons vibes. So there you go. So that's their socials. Should I go ahead and do we want to try and show the team video now, J Crypto, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we can end on the team video and then get into some other things here. But I think that we've covered the gamut of where they're at. We've talked about the mint so people know. And now it's just in the hands of fate, I think, a little bit. It's kind of like we're going to get to see now and watch them and just kind of root for them and cheer them on. But see kind of what happens here, It seems like, I mean, I got to tell you, to me, Earl seems so passionate about this, and it seems like he's really committed to doing this. So that's a little bit of a thing that I think about, as the entrepreneur, like going to, sacrifice everything to make this happen. And Earl kind of does seem that way. So we'll see.
I agree. Earl's super, super cool. I dig his style too. The cowboy hat. I think it's great connecting. I only met him yesterday, last night in Discord, but super friendly guy, super smart. Big shout out to Earl, and big shout out to Kyle as well. I was taking a look at Boo Crew NFT. We'll actually show that in a minute here. I have it prepared, but the team looks super, super solid. Let's maybe do that now, J Crypto. I'm gonna bring up. I'm gonna share a tab, so that we can go through their video. Maybe you can bring up some chats while I get that ready.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. This comment was, I think collections should not have to aim for 10K assets. So that's a good thing to say there, Ben. I appreciate that kind of constructive feedback. We're kind of in this mold of wanting to have 10K assets. It is interesting. Then Peter said that, yeah, he's used to hearing us at 2x. We kind of went through that. Let's see. I mean, not too much. Everyone seems to be doing okay. So this was, everyone seems to be doing a metaverse without even realizing how hard it is to pull off technically. Yeah. So that's why it's cool that they kind of got the partnership going. Other than that, we're kind of still waiting for some feedback. Usually when we don't get any negative feedback, it means that there's probably, not much to give feedback on. But if you guys want to give some things that you think would be valuable for the team, feel free. There was this one. I don't know if we saw this. I like the lore besides the game. I'm wondering if they do comic books or manga. So that was kind of an interesting one.
That's cool.
Crypto Steve that I was looking at earlier, but we didn't have a chance to kind of get to it. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I might be ready to play the video. Oh, where'd you go, J Crypto? Oh, we lost J Crypto. I think he might have dropped from the call. He might have closed the wrong tab. There he is. Would you close the wrong tab there, J Crypto?
Dude. Basically, the interwebs just were. I think Timmy hacked me. And
silly humans.
He was like, "All right, enough of the comments, J Crypto. Get out of here."
All right, let's play their video. And actually, I'm gonna play just a few seconds and stop it. J Crypto, I want you to tell me if you're able to hear the audio as I do this. Actually, yeah. Let me go ahead and share. And we're going to share that Chrome tab here. Okay. Did that come through? It did?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Then let's go ahead and meet the team.
Hey, Adrops. My name is Earl Stokes. I've been a photographer and artist, receiving my degree in photography back in 1992. I currently live in Dallas, Texas, and I'm excited about the future of Cardano, Adatropolis, and this community, and I'm looking forward to meeting everyone.
Hey everybody, my name's Kyle, and on Adatropolis, I'm the lead developer for minting and also assembling together all the art. A bit of background on me: I've got a degree in computer science, and I'm also the creator of the Boo Crew CNFT collection. And you may even have seen my tutorials out there about minting and how to do that. I'm really, really excited to get this project going. The art's fantastic, and I can't wait to show you what we're going to create. So thank you, and I hope to see you on the way.
Hey there, my name is Ado Hernandez. I am an illustrator and I'm part of the creative team behind Adatropolis. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and I moved to Dallas a few years ago. Nice to meet you. Bye.
Hello, fellow Adatrops. My name is Patrick. I'm the lead marketer here at Adatropolis. I am currently living in Southern California, and I have a background in finance and marketing. The team here at Adatropolis has a great vision, and we are excited to build a community that we all can be proud of.
Hi everyone, my name is Madeline Decaides. I go by Mist Online. I'm a 2D artist and I'm the animator for Adatropolis.
So there you have it, Adatropolis.
Meet the team. There it is. So
I thought that was
yeah.
No, I thought it was pretty cool. Like I really like that they're doxed. It's a very diverse team. A ton of diversity, gender diversity, age diversity, geographic diversity. I think diversity, equity, and inclusion is super, super important. And I love how diverse this team is. And because you think about Cardano and the CNFTs, and you wonder, like, is it all just kind of men, in college? But it's nice to see that our community is actually a lot more diverse than you might expect. And I would suggest maybe more diverse than other blockchains, but that's pure speculation. So I love the team. It was cool to meet Kyle there too. Kyle, I detected a bit of an Irish or Scottish accent. I'm not sure. Like every time I listen to that video, I think, oh, is this Paul, Cardano Paul, who's I think in Ireland? I think it said you're in UK though. I'd be curious to know. Yeah, super cool that they have Kyle on the team. He's a legend. Boo Crew NFT Maker Pro videos, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll end that on is I think the cowboy hat was not just a normal cowboy hat. It was a very interesting cowboy hat, and I think it was a very cool cowboy hat that Earl was rocking there with like some stars. So I've never seen one of those before, and I just think that kind of has taken a lot of us by storm.
Yeah.
So if that, reflects what their project is shooting for, the stars, then I think it looks good.
Very cool. Yeah. So there you go. I also like how, they've got a bunch of developers, different artists. Like it's a really they've got all the roles filled, and they even have Patrick on the team, who I think is like the marketing person, right? And so, they've got people dedicated for each role that's needed. So I think they have a really good chance. This is what you want to see. They're doing everything right, in my opinion.
All right. So shall we move on then, Tim?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can move on. Maybe talk about Pavia and the metaverses for a minute.
Yeah. So yesterday I was talking to Timmy. Timmy, you said that you had some things you wanted to talk about with Pavia too. What were you gonna talk about? Did you want to show some stuff, or did you just want to chat about some recent developments? I know last night we were chatting a little bit about that video with the COO, which was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think I'd like to show some stuff if I can, J Crypto. And
Yeah.
some people might have seen this stuff, but if not, I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit and make you small again. There we go. So I really liked this post by Pavia earlier in the week. Being a game developer myself, when I saw this, I really gravitated to it. It reminded me a little bit of what Cardano Village released in January. But there's some interesting things here in this video, this gameplay video, I guess like a tech demo that really stood out to me. They're calling this the Infinite Villa World. And so obviously the full game isn't going to look like this because you're not going to have the same villa everywhere.
Mhm.
But this is really a performance test. And I'm actually just going to turn off the sound. But one of the things actually, maybe I shouldn't do that. Let's just go through it like this. One of the things I really liked in this video was the space partitioning. So what you can actually see as I scrub through the timeline, you see the person moving on the left. I think that's a Ready Player Me avatar. But then as he's moving on the right, you can see his position here. You see where this white triangle is? That's actually the character moving.
Yeah.
And what I noticed is when he gets to the top of each parcel, that's when it's triggering the distance to load in a new chunk. So if you're familiar with Minecraft, you'll have chunks, and this also has chunks and chunk loading. I'm just going to scroll forward a little bit till you'll see the pop when the new chunk loads here on the right there.
Boom.
It just loaded. And so if I scroll back, you see how he's right near, you see how he's right near the end of that parcel there? That's when the distance to this chunk was small enough that it loaded. And so it looked like they have pretty good space partitioning, and this is actually called like a quad tree. Basically, they have like a quad tree versus like a BSP, which is what old Quake levels used to use. But this looks like it's doing a quad tree because as I scroll forward, you're going to start to see the left and right areas pop as well. There you go, the right one, and then the left one's going to come in a minute. There it is. Right when he reaches like that certain distance from that chunk. So
Yeah.
I was really happy to see this. It
That's
looks
so
like
cool,
there's
that you could break that down for us, by the way, Timmy.
yeah, it's super cool, and it looks like there's 12 parcels in a chunk. So you can see, like, if I go back, you see that chunk that's just sticking out at the top? It looks like it's a 3x4. So that can give you a sense of 12 parcels maybe are going to load in chunks, which is interesting because, as we know, estates are 3x3, right? So it's interesting that the chunk loading, the quad tree, is split into 3x4, but actually the estates are 3x3. So I'd be curious to know, like, why they're doing that. Is that just for the tech demo? Like, you see this one that's popping in on the right here? It's also a 3x4, right?
Well, do you think that that's just because from the
Or it's a
first?
4x4. Actually, it might be a 4x4. Yeah, it looks like it's a 4x4. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, like, for the equating to the estates, like, I don't know if it would matter because where the guy actually is on the left screen, obviously he's got a lot of parcels that he could see in the
Yeah.
center there. But I wasn't
Exactly.
yeah, so I wasn't sure if you were trying to, visualize us being able to see an estate early.
No,
Or
no.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It won't matter. You won't even notice. So like, and it's actually better that it's bigger than an estate because then like if there's things around the estate, like it'll all be preloaded. So yeah, you're right. Like it's way out in the distance. But I just thought it was interesting that
Oh, they chose
their
that format, you mean?
yeah, their geometry, like their space partitioning is 4x4, which is bigger than an estate, which is really nice. I think that's super cool.
I just want to say this comment. Timmy showed off some programming knowledge. And this cat is the smartest cat I've ever seen.
Get out of here.
I swear to gosh. And the thing is, it's kind of this is not a sponsored segment for Pavia. This is just honestly like we're just trying to catch up. And Timmy found this really interesting. I did too, by the way. It seems like it does load pretty quick when they sped it up as well, which is what we're gonna need for gameplay and things.
And so another thing I wanted to share about Pavia is this, in case no one saw this, I thought this was pretty cool. This is like a Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club potential hangout. Kind of gives me Planet of the Apes kind of vibes, but then there's some neon on there and a boat. Like that's super, super cool. But this is really
The
interesting. Like
bar.
what?
I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw it. Yeah.
What? It's so interesting. Like what's happening here? Like there's water here, right? So like, can you imagine like? You obviously it would be weird to have like a parcel in the middle here that's water with like cement all around it. And but what's cool is I think Pavia has said they're going to be like reviewing and approving like certain assets potentially. And so it could be that like if you want to do something like this with a boat and like a bunch of water, maybe you have to have a coastal plot right near the beach. So I'm interested to learn more about like where would this plot here actually live on the map? And so if we bring up the map for a second, I want to kind of show the map for a minute. And yeah, you can see how like if there was water in the middle on the plot, that might look weird. But maybe there'll be like a way to have that on like the side ones. Go ahead, Jake. I cut you off.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say or ask kind of what you meant. This is live, so me and Timmy are just having this live conversation, which is the funnest way to do it, in my opinion. Make content while just talking with a cat. But it's I don't know if I think that they just put that there potentially because maybe it might be close to the beach, Maybe this is a beachfront parcel because if you go onto the Pavia Twitter, you'll see that they released kind of like this boardwalk image of what maybe waterfront parcels will have, which is like this long boardwalk that maybe has docks for each parcel. But what I was thinking with the beach is you might just really have that beachfront. And I grew up in a nautical place, so I know that, beachfront properties, you'll see the sailboats in the yards and things of that nature because they can just dolly them down to the ocean. So I wonder if that's where this Bored Ape Yacht Club kind of either estate or parcel will be, maybe on the beach.
I think it has to be. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it has to be. And hopefully it would. Like hopefully Pavia, would kind of try and keep these land-based ones kind of out of the mainland, or maybe there's going to be a way to like have like some kind of blending. So like maybe you could do it. So if I purchase one in the middle of the green area here, there could be some blending, like a lake, someone said, or a moat. Great idea. So I thought that was interesting. And then I also wanted to remind everyone about this map too. I think he actually jumped into one of the Twitter spaces you were doing, Jay Crypto.
He's been on the show. This guy is a legend. His name is 3D Kiwi.
Yep. 3D Kiwi. And this is a great like height map or price map, a heat map showing all the different prices and what you're really looking for. Like the lowest prices are in the purple. But actually, if I zoom out, I think I might be able to show you the scale. The bottom of the purple here is 360 ADA. And so when you see some plots here that are purple, that means, they're going to be close to 360 ADA. So you can see obviously a lot on the edges. One thing that's been added to this since the last time I looked is he's got these black lines here. And everything inside this inner black line was the first NFT sale that happened in October. That's when I was able to mint a few.
Yeah.
And then the second line here is the second sale that happened. I think that was at the beginning of January. If not, it was December. And then the third sale is everything on the outside. So it's kind of interesting to see all the purple. Most of it is in the third sale, which makes sense. It's a little bit further from the center. But then there's some pretty nice beachside plots over here.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if
what
we're
I
ready
grabbed,
to.
man. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
Are you talking about it? I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, no. I've talked about it on the channel and stuff.
Okay.
I've grabbed some beach stuff over there, and I think Timmy is bought over there too now, so that way we can kind of be a little bit have some proximity when it gets released. And,
just yesterday, we won't tell them exactly where it is because I think we both want to buy a little bit more, but somewhere on the eastern seaboard.
I'm so bad at that. Like
somewhere on the eastern seaboard.
I such a big mouth. Yeah.
There's some pretty big whales in here. Vince, this is Chronic 1, I believe. He's a whale. There's a whole bunch of whales
Chronic?
in here. That's what he said.
Word.
Chronic, yeah.
That's what's up, dude. Yeah, we got to get Chronic on the show one of these days as like a guest, or like just like a fun guest while we go through these reviews to give. I love that
idea. Yeah, I love that idea. He knows a lot, but be careful because he'll buy it all. It's probably already gone. I'm scared to refresh the page. He's probably
terrible time to buy Pavia. Don't buy it. Yeah, exactly.
I actually bought a bunch of Pavia just last night. I bought a little, and then on Wednesday I bought 4 more. And the other thing I wanted to show about Pavia is the price it's pretty good right now. It was $359 this morning, $364. I mean, not financial advice, but I think this is a pretty good deal on Pavia. I was looking at OpenSea NFT. It's come down a bit. And so, I'm going to start buying, like slowly just buying. My plan is to surround J Crypto with a bunch of Timmy plots and just kind of like have my statue there. So I'm just looking for stuff on the eastern seaboard. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say the opposite, which I think is more truer, because what I heard you were doing for Boss Planet is something that I've been doing for Pavia. And I think that we've talked a little bit about where our land plots are. And it looks like you're doing it for Pavia too now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to buy up kind of plots all over the place. So that way I can have like a little bit of a simultaneous stream going on when I do content, maybe of all my plots, just having like an event or something simultaneously. Would be really, I think, fun to do. The other thing I was thinking, Timmy, and I don't know if I told you this, is like have like a security guard feel where I can have a billboard maybe that has a camera. So whenever somebody walks onto any of my plots, I see it because I see all the different plots, like the visual of in front of the billboard, and I can just kind of call certain people out, in front of the billboards and be like, "Oh, hey, Lisa Pants 36." And kind of stop them in their tracks in the virtual world and just engage, I think that'd be hilarious.
I love it. There's an interesting discussion here. I'd be curious to run it by you, J Crypto, and everyone. Like J Crypto and I, we're just shooting off the cuff here. We haven't talked about it at all. But this HD 5000 here, talks about, why is the token so cheap compared to the land? And then Kyle of Boo Crew is asking like, yeah, well, do we even know what the utility of the token is? And actually what I wanted to do is I've actually gone ahead and brought up the price of the token.
The token's at a good,
the-
it's at
The
a
tokens
good
come
kind of
down a
price,
bit.
too.
The
Yeah.
tokens come down a bit, but check this out. Like, let me zoom out a bit. Well, you can see it here. The market cap is 29 million, right? 29 million for the market cap of the token.
Low cap.
But let's take a look at the market cap for the land, right? Like, is it 36 million? So 364 times 100,000, right? There's 100,000 plots that they gave out. So let me just do that real quick. I think it's 36 million, right? 100, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 36 million. So the value of the land is 36 million. The value of the token is about 3 million. So about 1/12. So the land is worth 12 times more as market cap. So it's interesting. It does look like they're right. The token is a bit cheap. What
It's
do you
super
think?
cheap.
What do you know about the token? Like, what do we know?
Well, I think it's going to be like Mana for Decentraland or Sand for Sandbox. I really think it's going to be like that. And I think what Pavia said they're doing in their first ever podcast with Paul, and it was all live, so you can see what Paul looks like. You can see what Pavia Ross looks like. And I did a video on that. But what they said that they're doing is they're laying the groundwork right kind of now on both the multiplayer side. So how can we interact with each other? How can we share maybe items? How can we talk to each other? How can we text each other? But they're also doing the groundwork on the creative end. So what's the experience like? What's the economics going to be like? So I think that they're still kind of not releasing what the use cases of the token, because they don't really have, they want some flexibility to decide that still. That's what I think, Timmy. And I think that it's not a bad move, because if the game isn't ready just yet, then why rush that, just for the price action? So I think that if they don't need to release the use case of the token, then why would they, if they have more time to kind of, research and look into that? So.
No, I think you're right. I think there's also like some interesting things around the SEC and market securities. There was a post by Pavia on their Twitter a couple of days ago talking about how the SEC is investigating some other NFT projects on Ethereum and some marketplaces, but also this idea of projects selling tokens and NFTs to raise funds. That makes it a security. It makes it liable for the Howey test, and that's why Pavia has actually said, don't mint if you're in America. They've actually blocked United States, and they've received a lot of flack for that. But actually, like, it seems like they were right to make that move. I mean, maybe why don't I bring that up real quick? Give me a second here. If I jump back, I think this is worth calling out quickly. In Pavia's defense here, where's my Pavia tab here? So if I bring up Pavia's Twitter, I was looking at this one here. So they're saying,
I just covered that too.
Oh, did you? Yeah. So like the SEC is investigating NFTs, and you can read more about it, the Bloomberg article, where they talk about NFT projects that are asking for funds to create their project with the promise of profits later.
A lot of NFT projects, even in our ecosystem, are doing that, if we're being honest.
Yeah. And so Pavia reminds it that they're compliant in all countries where they have offices, and they're basically trying to be safe, legal, and compliant for the long term. So let's kind of like be in Pavia's defense here, as they've been protecting themselves by not minting to the US. I think that was the right call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, COVID psychopath. That's just his username for the audience. But yeah, he was watching my bid earlier when I just posted that to him, and I think that you're right to post that too, because that's it's very interesting. When we think about it, I think a lot of projects are, if we're being honest, a lot of projects are doing that. I think Pavia was well funded before the land sales, to be honest with you. I just get that vibe. But we see a lot of projects getting the funding to develop, and it's interesting. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but like I think if you sell the NFTs and you're just getting money for those NFTs that you created, that's a transaction and it's done without the promise of future profits, without the promise that that money is going to be used to fund a project. So if you're just selling PFPs and there's no like future project associated with it, that's a different story. But the Howey test is coming in when you're raising funds to fund your project. So all projects need to be very careful about their framing. Yeah. So why don't did you want to talk about Metadams for a bit?
Yeah. I want to
Take it
show
away.
you this. Get Timmy's live reaction here, which will be fun.
You're going to make me small?
Damn
it.
I'm not mean, but so if we go to their main website, we can kind of see, they got the BB running around. I don't know if you've seen this, Timmy, but there's actually like a little video.
Wow. I haven't. This project is a total new one for me. So walk me through it.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Now, what I just wanted to show people too is this is like the main thing I'm interested in. Like they've positioned, they have like some big partnerships. I mean, look at this Liquid, Indigo for kind of that DeFi-esque sort of partnerships. I really like the fact that they've kept a lot of organic partnerships.
Yeah.
Or gotten a lot of organic. I've talked to this is our community. Like some of these people in here, I recognize as our community: Ape Society, Lion Legends, Nala and Banana Man, Yumi Universe. So you're going to be able to use your Yumi as a 3D avatar.
Is it Yumi or Yummy?
Well, it's whatever I guess you want, but I think it's probably Yummy because they're eating stuff. But I've seen Lion Legends post a tweet of kind of what their Metadams fortress area looks like, and it's pretty sick.
Oh, wow.
But as you can see, Rats DAO too. So like what I think they're positioning themselves as, okay, so meet our partners in the inner circle in-game. Participate in events, discover the best projects in the Cardano universe, DeFi, staking, NFT liquidity, stablecoins. So what they're doing is they're giving away free land to some of the big kind of projects in the space for the central city. So instead of minting central city land and leaving it up for the community to kind of make a decentralized area, there's already a lot of metaverses doing that. So instead they said, you know what, we're going to go a different direction here because it's kind of like, if we were to do that, there's a lot of metaverses already doing that. Let's build out a Liquid place for Liquid Finance. Let's build out a place maybe for Rats DAO or for Lion Legends, so that way now we already have the experiences. We can host AMAs. Maybe we can even do DeFi in the metaverse. So I just thought that was a smart play on their behalf to just be the first to kind of do it this way. What do you think, Timmy?
I think so. Scroll down again. I think what we're seeing here is, this is what Web3 is going to look like. Like right now, we're using Muesli Swap and Sunday Swap and all of these programs in our web browser.
Yes.
But the idea is that the metaverse is disrupting the web browser. The idea is the metaverse is going to replace the web browser. And so all of the destinations that we visit in the web browser, you could imagine they should migrate or have a companion in the metaverse. And so Amazon.com should have a presence on the web and in the metaverse. Sunday Swap should have a presence on the web and in the metaverse. And so you're seeing Muesli Swap, basically any website, any project that has a website has a reason to exist in the metaverse. And so I'm not surprised to see, Indigo, Cardashift, all of these other ones, Liquid, Cardex, and Legity, it's starting to create presences in the metaverse because basically they're saying this is Web3. This is going to be my website in the future. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think Amazon.com goes there. Let me ask you this.
It's already happening.
Who's going to be the Google of the metaverse? Like there's going to be a really good search and indexing function And like, let's say there's 10 different metaverses or metaversi. You're going to need a way to search all the metaversi. Is that not going to work? I'm trying to coin the term metaversi, but it's not really working. You're going to need a way to search like 10 metaverses and find the XY coordinates, maybe the XYZ coordinates, and be able to teleport to that metaverse. So that's what the
Yep.
Google of the metaverse will look like. I don't know if anyone's announced that they're making that, but I think you're going to see parallels to every Web 2 property
I agree.
exist in the metaverse.
And I've already seen, just to make it real, so it's not like we're just in foo-foo land talking about garbage. I've already seen on TikTok people that work full time at a virtual subway in different metaverse environments.
Like
So
a subway restaurant or like a transportation subway?
a subway restaurant.
Oh, wow.
So if you order, there's a customer service person that, basically can, make sure, okay, boom, 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 you got the lettuce, tomato, bacon, BLT, and you get sent it in real life to your
Tuna?
local destination. Well, maybe for a cat, they'll stuff it with some catnip,
Catnip and tuna.
potentially. So they'll send it to you, Timmy, in your real life destination.
That's amazing. So that's like
It's already happened. Yeah.
that's
it's
like the
happened.
physical world. That's like physical business coming to the metaverse, but then every
And then there's
web
Walmart too,
yeah,
with the physical
Walmart.
side.
I saw
where,
that
like,
too.
yeah.
Nike, Adidas, of course, music. I mean, just like during the .com era, all these physical properties migrated to .com. They migrated to the web. Now, all the physical properties and the web properties that have been created over the last 20 years will migrate into the metaverse. And so that's what you showed us here with Metadams. This is the evidence that the migration is happening.
And we'll be doing DeFi in a 3D virtual reality environment very shortly. It really actually, when you think about it, it might not make sense if we're shifting to that virtual reality 3D space, and maybe there's a little bit more information that we can pull from that, environment to do DeFi. It could potentially make more sense to do some DeFi there opposed to just on a computer. Maybe not very soon, because obviously it's very convenient to do DeFi right now on the computer.
Yeah.
But potentially down the road, it may be even more convenient to do it in a 3D immersive environment, especially when you can get context from people that work at Liquid or from community members like mods who maybe get paid by the hour in Liquid tokens. Who knows?
There you go.
To basically just educate us on what the heck, why you can stake and still get collateral for your ADA.
Yeah, here's another business case from Blockchain Bullies here. Unstoppable domains, right? Or ADA handle. And
Ooh,
so
Blockchain Bullies. Yeah.
yeah, like we've
He's
got
another
like,
community member.
GoDaddy, you've
and
got all
that
these
stuff.
domain registrars, but those domain registrars now need to migrate to Web3 as well. What is the Gmail of Web3 going to look like, right? Like it'd be cool if I could go into Pavia and see all my email, not just my Pavia internal email, but like email from my grandma or something like that. I want to be able to see it while I'm in Pavia. If Pavia is going to be my main interface, it'd be cool to have that integration. So
I think these are the questions that we don't have answers to yet because the tech is so early. But what Timmy is doing, if the audience caught it, and I think a lot of people did, you're asking some really smart questions here, because what you're trying to visualize is what are the big search engines going to be of this completely new shift.
yeah.
And it's exciting to even think about that, man, because I've
Yeah.
heard stories about email, the open rates, obviously. And as a marketer back in the day when I was in real estate, the open rates were, a big thing. And we used to talk to some of the older realtors, and, the open rates would be 97% when emails were kind of, a little less saturated. Right. And now they're like 1% sometimes. It depends. But like, it's just crazy. And these newer kind of inboxes, if you will, whether it's text, which a lot of marketers are going towards now, offer a lot more availability and less saturation in the early stages. But also there's some, privacy laws and stuff that's associated with that. So it will be interesting to see what is the new thing. I use Pavia messaging already quite a bit. I get like a few messages a day because I put my PFPs on my Pavia plots. Every time I say that, I kind of cringe because I probably am going to get like 6 more messages whenever I say that on a YouTube video. But it's true. And you know what? Some people just want to sell me their Pavia plots, and I wish I could buy them all, guys. I do. But some people are just like saying, thanks for the content or whatnot. And that's kind of cool.
I like it. Let me do a super quick metaverse update on a different one, if I can. And I'll only take 5 minutes because I know it's getting late there. I think you have a meeting coming up as well, if I'm not mistaken, J Crypto. So let me,
yeah, I might. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm like your secretary here, but I'll get you out of here on time. Don't worry.
He's the best secretary.
Yep. Timmy in a skirt. Watch out. So let's take a look at the announcement channel of the Boss Planet project. One really cool thing is we've got some new info from Baron Davis. Now, Baron Davis is an NBA Hall of Famer, an absolute legend in the NBA. Joined the project quite early, Baron Davis, and is a brand ambassador for Boss Planet.
What?
Yeah. And actually, he released a video a couple days ago while he was on vacation, talking all about Boss Planet, talking all about the Boss Cats. But what's cool is they've announced now that District 1 of Boss Planet Metaverse is going to be a sports district. And so this is where you're going to find arenas, racetracks. So maybe Equine NFT, maybe could be represented here, stadiums, maybe mini golf. District 1 basically is going to be where you can do a lot of sports stuff in the Boss Planet Metaverse. Hey, Boo Crew, thanks for dropping in. Yeah. I know you're polite. You didn't want to interrupt me, but it's okay. Boo Crew's a legend. Great to have Adatropolis.
Thanks, Boo Crew.
Yeah. They talk about basketball courts, ski slopes, base jumps, ice rinks, rally tracks, tennis courts, kinds. Yeah, ice rinks. Could you imagine?
That's where I would be pretty dominant, Timmy, back in my high school hockey days and junior hockey days. That's where.
Yeah. Did you play on ice? You told me you used to play field hockey. Oh, I thought it was field hockey.
No, you had some wax in your cat ears. I think,
is that what it was?
It must have been, yeah.
All right. Wow. I didn't know you could. Okay. So here we go. So this is the sports district, District 1 from Baron Davis. So I just wanted to show you that, this project continues to work. They also signed a partnership with another brand ambassador. This is a famous DJ. His name is Hook and Sling, and he's been doing all kinds of live DJ shows. And he's got a bunch coming up in Miami and New York. And Boss Planet recently did a giveaway. They gave away 10 free passes to attend his show at the Lava nightclub in New York and at the Freehold in Miami. And so this is pretty cool, right? We hear about Snoop Dogg on the Sandbox, but I love that Boss Planet now has celebrity DJs that they're partnering with. And I can imagine, they haven't announced anything. I'm just speculating.
It's insane. It's actually insane, but to watch this project, it's really awesome to see that they're getting people into Cardano and to the ecosystem with this kind of clout, for lack of a better word. It's exciting.
It's pretty amazing. It's totally different than Pavia too. Pavia is more like dev based and showing the game, and this one is a lot more around the partnerships lately. But they do have some game updates. I'll show you. But they haven't announced a music district, but you could imagine maybe District 3 or District 2. There's 9 districts in Boss Planet, but maybe a future district will be the music district, which would be pretty cool. And maybe Hook and Sling will be part of that district. So I think that's a pretty cool idea. Like how Boss Planet, it's split into 9 grids, 9 districts, and each one will have a theme, which is a little bit different. But I like it. It gives some cohesion. And I do think there's a ton of room for Boss Planet to live alongside Pavia. I think of Pavia as the Decentraland, and then Boss Planet.
Man, you're stealing my line. Can I say this real quick,
Okay,
Timmy?
I didn't finish it. Go ahead. You take it.
Yeah. So when I first heard from Chronic that they were doing kind of the voxel style metaverse, I was like, wow, this is actually really smart because Boss Cats have a really incredible marketing history. They've done a lot of marketing to create a ton of buzz around their project. what better marketing position would it be than to paint the narrative? And I know that they're not the first to say that they're going voxel, but to say like to paint themselves as the sandbox on Cardano.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've done that. They've actually said like they
Mhm.
saw a swim lane when they announced Boss Planet. They saw a lane for a voxel metaverse on Cardano. So they knew about Pavia, and they said, well, we can't compete with Pavia, like we don't want to. We're going to do a voxel one. And so I think that's great. They're totally complementary, and you can see some of their voxel cats here. Now, one thing I like about the voxel approach too is, it can be easier to build. It's like Minecraft, right? It's just placing down blocks. And there's a tool called Magic of Voxel, which makes it really, really easy to build. And so it's easier to get casual members, right? To build for Pavia right now, like you kind of have to install Blender or 3D Max, right? You have to be like a 3D modeler. Whereas for this one, it's a little bit easier to build. So we'll see. I'm glad that we'll have both Pavia and Boss Planet. And it'll be interesting to see where Metadams fits in and some of these other ones.
Well, like I think I saw, Manad from the creator of Unsigned Algos tweet the other day, and I really agreed with this. He was saying that he was responding to a tweet where somebody was asking a question about, why are these metaverses, trying to build a place in the metaverse opposed to just building on the most successful metaverses. And Manad responded with saying something like, well, probably because there's not really going to be a truly successful metaverse project. The metaverse is the umbrella term, like the internet is to websites. And metaverse like Pavia or a metaverse like Cornucopias is just one of these URLs under the broader term, the metaverse. And I thought that was really accurate, and I really like that. There's room for as many URLs on the internet as you want, as long as there's not somebody trying to call their metaverse Pavia or, copy the same URL as somebody else, then you can do whatever you want. And it's interesting.
I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel here. And I think fortunately there's a roadmap for what this is probably going to look like. And I think we can compare this to Web 2.
Mhm.
I think of the metaverses as the social networks like Facebook, like TikTok, like Twitter. And so yeah, Chef, there's probably going to be
Let's
some
bring up
like
Chef's
dominant
comment. Yeah.
there's going to be some dominant players, and I think the
There's dominant
players,
websites though.
yeah, it'll be the platforms. It'll be the platforms like Facebook. So Pavia is like Facebook. Boss Planet will be like Twitter. And what'll happen is all these other businesses that want to do commerce will create spaces on those platforms.
Yeah.
See you, Psycho. Love to see you here, Psychopath. So so I think what's going to happen is, yeah, you can have multiple, probably just 2 or 3, just like social networks, right? If you're familiar with the book 0 to 1, like a lot of social networks, there'll be 1 or 2 or 3, but not like 10, and they have to be pretty different. And so I think just like Twitter and Facebook are different, I think Boss Planet and Pavia are different enough, but there's probably only going to be half a dozen. I'll let you jump in a sec, half a dozen. But then I think all of the people that want to create smaller businesses will create a space in Pavia, will create a space in Boss Planet, a space in Metadams, just like I have a Twitter page and a Facebook page and an Instagram page. Go ahead.
I totally agree. And it really is too early to say which ones are going to be dominant because we don't know what the traffic will look like. Also, the one thing that's different here than Web 2, and where I could see a lot more platforms potentially succeeding, is you have different use cases. Like for Metadams, they're going to really optimize towards, in my opinion, people that want to enhance the rewards on their ADA. So if I have 10,000 to 100,000 ADA, Metadams gives me if I did, I don't, but if I did, maybe one day,
Yeah.
If I did, Metadams would be the clear-cut place I would want to optimize my metaverse kind of land to, because the more that you play their game, that I didn't get into much, the more staking rewards you can obtain from the stake pools that they partner with. So it's a zero-sum game where there's kind of a bar, a low bar that you can't go below with staking rewards, But then the more that you play the game, you can actually capture other people that are staking's rewards as like an economic foundation for the game, to make staking kind of fun and cool, but also just to give it that economic foundation. They partnered with stake pools. Whereas Pavia might be driving traffic from, it's funny, in the podcast, they showed the virtual reality Oculus, they showed it. They asked Pavia Ross asked Paul what platforms they're optimizing for. They said the PC first is a downloadable, game, not a browser game, which was interesting. Or not game, but metaverse. And they showed the Oculus. So obviously they're kind of, hinting at that's the future going towards VR. So capturing traffic from the Oculus is another stream of traffic. So if you wanted to maybe optimize your business or land for that, yeah, it seems like Pavia is the clear cut right now for Cardano of where to get into for that.
I agree. Let's move off the metaverses in a minute, but I want to bring up this question from Chris Williams, big supporter. Thank you all for your support, Chris, over the last few weeks. But he asked about where do you feel about App Planet, and I wasn't sure if he meant app or ape, but he talks about monkey app. So I think he's talking about the ape metaverse. And then he talks about how him and I have been chatting on Twitter. He's talking about the project that we both have a lot of, and so I think that's Ape Society. And I know Ape Society, they've talked about building they talked about building a metaverse a little bit down the line, but I think they're partnering with some metaverses earlier on. Like we just saw, they're actually partnered with Metadams. But J Crypto, isn't there another ape project like that has their own metaverse? It's like Ada Apes, I think, and they were like one of the first ones that have a metaverse.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. There's almost too many, Chris, to even keep track of. I think in terms of Ape Society, it's still early days, I would say. And so it's fun. Yeah, it's fun to talk about, but I think Pavia and Boss Planet and Cornucopias are kind of the furthest along right now. And Cornucopias is hybrid metaverse game, I would say. Go ahead.
Timmy, I wanted to ask you this. What do you think about, Paul answering that question in the way that he did in the interview, where he basically disclosed to us that it won't be like Decentraland, where it's just a browser-based Pavia. You can just go on to the internet and get on. You're going to have to download it. So
yeah, of course. That's what I like. I think it'll be powered by Unreal Engine, hopefully. And I think that's totally fine.
What are the advantages of doing it that way opposed to having a browser is really why I was asking.
Well, I think like one thing is if you download it ahead of time, you can have the user download a bunch of textures, a bunch of assets. And so you can have like higher polygon counts, higher texture counts, higher resolution textures. And so the visual quality can be better. You can also do a lot more in terms of like multimedia communication. So when you're doing this kind of stuff with Decentraland, you're using a protocol called WebRTC. And like the video chat in the browser is not as good. Like Google Hangouts, if you remember some of these web-based video chat programs, sometimes your screen would go black, the audio would cut out. But if you look at Zoom or Skype, these dedicated applications, you can have much better multimedia communication, like real-time video chat, voice chat, with a dedicated application. You can get more of the processor, you can get more of the multimedia system. So I think if you have a standalone application, the quality is going to be a lot better. Now, obviously, there's some friction there. It's very easy to join a website and just like hop into a game if it's on the website. But if you have a standalone application, if you can get over that friction and get people to actually install it, you're going to have a better experience without a doubt.
Dude, I might just be one of the greatest interviewers of all time because I knew you would slam that like as that would be a slam dunk for you. And I feel like a lot of people just got a lot of value from that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think it was a really good question. And I thank you for putting this metaverse part on our agenda today. I think it was a lot of fun. Why don't we jump to the third part, do our first little DeFi discussion. And then
my meeting's not till 5, by the way. So I have
really?
time.
Push back? Okay. All right. We got lots of time. So that's good. Then let's do some DeFi, and we can talk about a few different things, but I want to start maybe by talking about Genius Yield. And if I can share one more time, I think I'll do that now. Okay, so if I jump back over here, what's that?
No,
I just transition.
Yeah, dude. I definitely I take back what I said about being the greatest interviewer of all time. That sounded wicked cheesy. But yeah, it's something on our agenda too for these gauntlets, by the way, for the audience to transition a bit into into DeFi too, because we feel as though the cycle of NFTs is slowing down and we're heading towards a DeFi cycle.
Yeah, I feel like there's cycles. Hey, good to see Rob here. It's so funny. We just talked about cornucopias like 3 minutes ago. It's like if you invoke cornucopias, Rob hears and
Well,
we summoned Rob.
The leadership of cornucopias amazes me because they are literally so deep in the community. They show up everywhere that you talk about them, as Timmy said, but also just like as listeners too, not just to hijack or take over the show. They listen to a lot of the metaverse shows that we do, and it's kind of, I think, their way of listening to what the community has to say.
I love Rob. I think there's tremendous humility by the cornucopias leadership team. They're very humble because they have like a large team. They have a large project. They just did a huge mint. It would be easy for the cornucopias team to kind of disconnect from the community and kind of have like elitism.
It's the opposite though, right?
It's the opposite.
Crazy.
Rob is right there in the Twitter spaces, and I see him on Twitter spaces with like 10 people, 15 people, right? And like, Charles Hoskinson might join a Twitter space with 1,000 people, right? Because it's like better use of his time. But Rob is there. He just wants to talk to the real people. He's super real, super down to earth. So big shout out
He's
to Rob.
hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
Rob is actually he's like Shaq when it comes to some jokes. Sometimes I feel like he just has these slam dunks in these small group settings. He's a funny dude.
So we're going to jump into Genius Yield for a minute here and talk about DeFi in general. But yeah, I actually discovered Genius Yield by Eden Stuff. His name is Eden Altcoins on Twitter. So definitely give him a follow. He's, in my opinion, the leading Cardano researcher when it comes to Cardano. He doesn't talk about NFTs, but in terms of Cardano tech and where Cardano is going, I think Eden Stuff is one of the best. Him and Army of Spies, is something I aspire to in a few years. They're really, really good. So let's jump into it a little bit right now. I won't take too much of everyone's time, but I do want to talk about some big updates from Genius Yield. I talked about this project in early January, and it's quite technical. But what they've done is they've released a summarized white paper that's a lot easier to digest. And so what I would recommend people do is visit their website at geniusyield.co, geniusyield.co. And then there's a Medium link here. If you click the M, it'll take you to their Medium page. And there's a bunch of announcements here. I'll walk you through just at a high level. We won't spend too much time on it because I'm going to do a deep dive of Genius Yield on Monday. So that's going to be on my main show. But I wanted to point everyone to the white paper summary here. And this is just a much easier to understand explanation for what Genius Yield is. Because until this came out on February 15th, all we had was their official white paper. And this white paper is epic. It's like 30 pages, but it's very, very technical. There's all kinds of there's all kinds of formulas and charts, and it's quite academic. So I was really happy that they released this summary.
Which is a great thing, by the way.
Yeah, it's great to have that. Lars Brunges is on the team. He's the one that's been running all the Plutus Pioneers program, used to work at IO Global. He's part of the Genius Yield team. And so he wrote part of that white paper. But this summary is a lot more digestible. It's got some colorful graphics, and it talks about like the different components. But one thing I want to highlight today is there's a huge, huge staking element to Genius Yield that is not getting as much attention as it should. I mean, a lot of this information is new from the last few days, but there's a ton of rewards that you're going to be able to earn if you own the GENS token. And so basically, check this out. Transacting on the Genius DEX is cheaper. The DEX does not charge a fee for placing an order. Okay, so there's no fee for placing an order in their DEX, like when you place the order. Instead, when the order gets executed, there's a smaller fee, and 20% of that fee is redistributed to stakers. So you're going to be able to stake your GENS coins and earn fees, staking rewards, the way you earn ADA staking rewards. And there's a few different ways that the pool of staking rewards gets built up. And so they have a graphic down here that shows their DAO. And so 20% of all the fees collected from the DEX are going into the treasury and will be given to all of us who stake our GENS tokens. As well, 20% of the fees from the yield optimizer will be available for people that are staking gens. So I thought this was super, super cool that we're going to be able to have another way to earn rewards via staking. And so check this out. This is all on their Medium article. And for people that aren't familiar with Genius, the idea is they have AI that will help you with your yield farming. Because for me, I don't really have time to know like what's the best yield farming this week. Is it on Sunday swap or Muesli swap or Min swap? It's too complicated, and I'm scared about impermanent loss. I did some yield farming on Ethereum last year, and there was a bunch of impermanent loss. And so they have AI that will lower the impermanent loss, and it's basically one click and forget it. You can just put your money into a Genius Yield pool, and the AI will automatically find the best yield for you. And this is kind of like, you can search here for impermanent loss and learn a little bit about what they're doing to reduce that. So I wanted to share that. Go ahead, Jay Crypto.
I was just gonna say it's genius what they're doing. It really is. When you have a lot of DEXs on a ecosystem, having some sort of aggregator to distribute your liquidity for, let's say, if you have $100 US or $1,000 US, to distribute that for you, potentially cross DEX or cross platform, that'll be interesting. But yeah, it's the AI side of it that I don't think we've truly seen an academic implementation before in most DeFi. So that will be very fun to see here on Cardano first. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, and this is a great point here that Genius Yield is an order book style DEX like Muesli Swap. You know how Muesli Swap is an order book style? Genius is also order book style, whereas Sunday Swap is called AMM, automatic market maker. I call them automatic money makers because they sometimes have high fees. So they're AMMs, automatic money makers, but this one is an order book style DEX, and there's huge impermanent loss benefits to that. So I want to just show a couple other things super quickly and remind everyone there's going to be a deeper dive on this on Monday. One thing is on their Twitter feed, they announced that they joined the DeFi Alliance. So Genius Yield is now part of the Cardano DeFi Alliance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's really awesome.
That's huge, right? These are the legends in Cardano DeFi, right? So you've got Sunday Swap, Charlie 3, Indigo, Liquid. Like these are all the big non-NFT projects, really. MinSwap, and then they haven't updated this graphic yet for Genius Yield, but you can see down here they've got the announcement that they joined the Genius Yield, joined the Cardano DeFi Alliance. So that's huge, 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 huge. So I wanted to share that. They also released an ambassador program. And so you can see a bunch of famous YouTubers and influencers. Pete is a Cardano ambassador. Big Pay is a Genius Yield ambassador. Pete is a Genius Yield ambassador, and I'm also an ambassador. So that's another reason why I'm happy to talk about them. I've joined the Genius Yield ambassador program. So full disclosure,
I'm not an ambassador, but Timmy was talking to me yesterday, and I definitely would love to be. So I'm gonna check into it. I think anybody can do it too, right, Timmy? It's like you can just go on to the website and apply.
Yeah, there's an application form. They had like 1,200 applications, and so far, like they're only choosing a few, right? They've chosen, I think, like around 20 so far. But a lot of people have
exclusivity.
Yeah, because you actually will earn gens tokens, and so it's not everyone can apply though. Yeah, everyone can apply, and then they're gonna select a few. And you don't have to be an influencer. They want people in different regions. So if you speak certain languages, or if you live in different regions of the world, they want your help to build communities there as well. So you don't have to have a YouTube channel. There's an ambassadors link on their website here. You can click that and see what it's all about. So yeah, they joined the DeFi Alliance. They joined the ambassadors program. And then the last quick one is they have a mascot contest going on to kind of redesign their mascot. Personally, I really love this mascot. Actually, I kind of feel like I'm a big fan of this one. Is that a
computer mouse kind of with the? Yeah, that's really cool, man. A little robot or a computer mouse, is it?
Yeah,
looks like a computer mouse.
Maybe the new mascot will be kept along with this one. I don't know. A lot of people like the old Timmy, actually, the 2D Timmy. I got rid of it, but
yeah, it's definitely a little bit. Yeah, sometimes the 3D Timmy looks a little bit chubby. I think you've been eating too much virtual cookies or virtual cat litter or
Yeah,
something.
I got some,
Yeah.
got some virtual
Tuna.
catnip right, virtual catnip right here.
Cat litter.
So
Oh, sorry.
yeah, check it out. The contest I think is going until March 16th, I believe. It goes until the middle of March. And I know a lot of people that watch this channel, yeah, March 16th. A lot of people that watch the channel are artistic, you know, because people that are interested in animation and modeling will
Mhm.
watch my channel. And so if you're artistic and you want to take a stab, then take a look. They're giving away 5,000 gens tokens. 5,000. So that's pretty good. I did see a question around how do we invest? Does it have a token, Chef? They have a Gens token. It's not available yet. They haven't done their public launch yet. So they're really just ramping up now with the ambassador program and such. So they're not live yet, but there will be a Gens token. Yep. And you can win 5,000 of these if you win this contest. What we know is there's actually only going to be 100 million. There's going to be 100 million of the token. And so at least that's what they've announced right now. You can see the total token supply here, 100 million. So 5,000 of 100 million is pretty good. One thing I've been doing is thinking about like what's the market cap for this project likely to be? And like if you think they can reach 100 million US dollars market cap, then one gens will be $1. So I've been using that as a benchmark. Who knows? Maybe it won't be worth 100 million market cap, but that's what I'm using in my head. And so yeah,
Well,
we'll
it
see.
sounds like there's a lot of incentives to hold and to stake your Gens token. And
Yeah.
if people use the platform and they can get a lot of liquidity, I think that's why they're doing this ambassador thing, which is smart, to embrace that kind of marketing as well. And if they have a great AI product and they have somebody directly from Cardano working on it, and it's got a lot of substance and academic rigor, it checks all the boxes in my book to see a lot of people hold on to their Gens token, and that would be very good for the price. And who knows, maybe with a token like this, you might see it, be a $1 billion market cap or a multiple $1 billion, tens of $1 billion market cap eventually. I really do see a lot of potential in this project, actually, Timmy.
Yeah, I think so. So that's what I wanted to share with everyone today. Let's see. What's the chat saying? Some people talking about the contest. Ergodex. Yeah, I don't know as much about that one.
Posted a preview of their decks using Gens tokens.
Oh,
that's
wow.
cool.
Yeah.
Timmy. Okay, Timmy. Pat.
Oh, I meant to share it, and we both shared it at the same time.
Yeah. Pat has now set up a role in the Discord for Blue Cats. So you're pretty much good there, Timmy, and that's Earl Stokes from Adatropolis. So now there's definitely a role for you. So that way people can kind of, send their virtual catnip and stuff.
That's awesome. That we were joking about that earlier because I had I had their Discord up here, and we were noticing that there's a humans row, and now they've added a blue cats row. You see that just while we were doing the video. There's a blue cats row. There's one blue cat, but we'll have to get some more in there. Big shout out to Earl. Thank you so much for doing that. See, these guys are fast. They're fast and they're sharp. Patrick, the marketing person for the project, is way on it. We met Patrick in the video when we showed the team video. So thank you so much for counting the blue cats there. What about the black cat, says CM? We'll see. Yeah, we have to, let's create some more cats and let's all join. Let's get this number up. We're up to 264 now. So it's gone up during the live stream, but I can't wait to get this number of humans above 300. I think that'll be fun to see.
Video idea maybe we can do on another Gauntlet is how to buy Charlie 3 token. So I know that this was something that I talked about a long time ago, but it'd be good to do some research to see what the best way to buy it is now. That might be a fun thing to highlight. So thanks for that idea, Chef.
Ada Cat, says Chris. So Chris is someone I'll probably do a collaboration with. We're just waiting to find the right thing to do together. Chris is an artist. He's been doing all kinds of stuff. I won't share too many of the details, but Christopher Williams. You'll see him in Twitter. He's been a big supporter of the channel for a while, and has become a bit of a friend of mine now, an online friend. But big shout out to Chris, and we're gonna do something. One thing we're talking about is maybe doing some merch together. And Jay Crypto, I know you have some merch. We've got the Pavia merch, but then you've also got what's it, 1725 or
yeah, 1625 is one of my Pavia plots. So the idea was to maybe make a proof of concept merch store in the metaverse. So we're far away from that, but it won't be, I'm not going to be selling any NFTs or anything like that before that happens.
Yeah.
But eventually the idea would be cool to have like a place because it's really in a good location. Like I looked out in the Central Plaza just because I was wicked early to it, and I bought it off secondary, so I didn't mint. But
oh wow,
it was one of the coordinates is 1625. So maybe if I could make a digital wearable merch store there, that's why I called my Pavia, merch. So I have a sweatshirt. I sell Pavia merch. If you want to get Pavia merch, it's really good quality stuff. I don't make too much on the margins. I put them as low as I can, but I make a few bucks. So that's cool. And it's all based in the UK. They use renewable energy processing. The quality is very good. So feel free, to hop onto my store, check it out. We have young Ada merch too, but
yeah,
it's more of a fun thing for me. It supports the channel, but it's fun.
I like it. I love the name 1625. I know you guys talked about maybe doing serendipity, and I understand that might have some other meaning for you guys, but I would encourage you to really run with 1625. I just think that's super cool. I'll probably get some merch there in a bit.
Well, I wanted to be the first kind of person to put that idea out, because I do think with coordinates, people will be calling their stores the coordinates, and I hadn't seen that before. So just to be historically correct, I figured it'd be fun to use that as a chance to do it,
Yeah. So let's see. CM, are you still here, CM? I'd love to know if you're still here. I'd love to talk to you about something that you mentioned earlier. And then CM, shoot a message in the chat if you're still here. And then there was another project oh yeah, CM is still here. Yeah, so CM was asking me about Ada Chicks. And so the Ada Chicks was a project I covered, I think in early December, maybe late December. And yeah, I haven't really followed up with them. I know they did like an alpha rooster type of updated release, but I don't know much more beyond that. So if you're interested in like Ada Chicks, you can check out, see like their rooster design, see if that, I think it's like 3D and it looks like a higher quality, but the Ada Chicks one was just a one-time story I did back in December. And so I don't know, Jay Crypto, do you know, are there any interesting updates from that, or do you know what's happening with that project?
No, Timmy, I haven't been following that project. I've been following quite a few for a freestyle round, maybe as we wrap this up, but not on that project in particular.
I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll check it out after this CM and see if I can find out any info. Maybe they have another. Oh, it's a rug pull. So I have to take a look. Maybe they haven't done an update in a while. We'll see. Like, Jay Crypto talked to us about like how, we think of, it feels like NFTs might be cycling a bit now. Everyone's excited about DeFi with a bunch of DEXs launching. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't see a lot of NFT projects slowing down too much. It's something to keep an eye on. Maybe a lot of them will like,
I think it makes sense,
to
be honest with you, because what's happening, in my opinion, is we're seeing really incredible art coming into this space.
Yeah.
We're seeing incredible talent coming into this space, and they're charging less for their mints. They're charging less for, pretty much, for their mints. So that's obviously something interesting. But I think what is going to be a cause of this is a lot of supply. And that's why I'm saying like the next big trend, I think, will be sort of the PCAs or bubble jets or just like utility 3D rendered NFTs that you're going to actually be able to use in the metaverse. And we have such a low supply of those right now. Like there's not many NFTs with confidence that we can say we can go onto the market, buy, and know that we can use it in game. There's just not. So that's why the bubble jets, I think, had so much demand and hype, because it was one of the first that we knew there was a product to be able to use them. I think that's going to be the next big trend for NFTs. But until we get some specs from metaverses to even be confident enough to say that in our white papers, it's going to be a bit before we see that.
I think you're right. Let's all be careful. Like as the price of ADA is coming down, let's be careful. Yeah, he said it himself. It's so funny. Just as I was about to say it, let's be careful with the NFTs, especially right now. It looks like maybe the Chicks team has given up. I will say,
I've never talked about. I don't even know what Chicks is, to be honest with you. It
yeah,
sounds
and
like.
I will say too, like
unfortunate.
we should the word rug pull is a little bit overloaded because there's two kinds of rug pulls, and there's ones that are like actual like scam and fraudulent, and I think those should be like a special category of their own. Like the projects that you know, raise money and never send NFTs, or they raise money and they send the NFTs, but then the IPFS image changes, right? Like there's projects where right from the start they knew they were going to steal everyone's money. Those people should go to jail. Like that's a totally different type of rug pull. And then there's rug pulls where the team loses interest. You know, maybe the project wasn't as successful as they thought. And so, you know, a lot of these are younger kids, like younger people. They just move on to different projects, or they get a job or something like that. And so there's a certain group of rug pulls where the team just kind of stops and they get tired and they get burnt out. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like if they did their best and like gave some value, like you know, we should be allowed to move on to different projects. But I think we shouldn't make commitments up front. Like if they're going to commit to doing like certain things and you're paying for that, then they should deliver on that. But this is actually coming back to the Howey test. Project owners shouldn't be selling NFTs to raise funds for like future value. If they do, then they're a security. And they should be regulated by the SEC if they're selling to American buyers. And so projects need to stop raising against the promise of future value.
Yeah.
And if they do that, if they raise and if they ask for 100 ADA or 50 ADA for a profile photo and they give the profile photo and then they quit, I'm maybe okay with that, because maybe they want to do like a bigger project or a catalyst project. I'm not okay if they raise money and don't give what they said they would.
The problem is, Timmy, that when you have projects that don't promise a game or a DAO or a metaverse, and then you have a bunch of projects promising these things, then it becomes a marketing play. So even if and you're absolutely right, by the way, Timmy, but even if projects are doing their, you know, they don't mention metaverse, game, or DAO at all, I feel like the toxicity of the space right now is that they're being kind of peer pressured into saying these terms, and it's terrible. You know, I hate to see it. It's the worst, because it's like, it's not good for them. It's not good for this space. It's not good for the investors. But ultimately, I'm a believer in accountability. And I think as investors, we need to stay sharp, vigilant, and keep educating ourselves, and always take full accountability for anything that we invest in. Otherwise, then there's no fun to the wins, because if we blame the losses on everybody else except for ourselves and our naivete, then there's nothing in the wins of, you know, self-confidence as an investor to be like, wow, you know what, I made a pretty good decision there.
It's not good for the investors, but actually, I think we need to reframe it completely, J Crypto. I think the word investors should be blacklisted, because when we call ourselves investors, then these projects are securities, and they should basically everything they're doing is illegal. These projects that are raising funds to fund development are doing that. If they're selling to American customers, they're doing it illegally. And so we are buyers. Basically, the framing should be we're buyers of an NFT, and we buy that NFT, but we're not investing with the promise or expectation of future profits. And so like, I think we're getting into dangerous category in the CNFT space when we use the word investing, because the SEC's ears are perking up. We're not investing in some future project. We're buying a profile photo that we can have today.
Yeah, well, so like the truth and then what we should say it as to not get in trouble are two different things. You know, like the way I look at it is a lot of stuff I am totally 100% investing in. But you're right, to not get in trouble, it's probably better to say it the other way.
And like, particularly with the project owner, like if the project owners put a solicit investment, right? If their website is like, we're looking for funds to fund our development, invest in us. Yeah, that's a
Right.
problem for the project team. Maybe
Most,
as
yeah,
as the
as the
buyers,
project owner,
and
you
I'm
know.
not a lawyer, I'm not a regulator, so I'm just kind of shooting off the cuff. I'm not even American, and I'm a cat, so what do I know? But I think the
Mm.
buyers, yeah, we can call ourselves investors, maybe. But
Well,
yeah,
it's whatever is the truth for you. You don't have to go advertise it on Times Square, but it's like like if we ban too many words and we don't even say the truth anymore, it's kind of tough. But I do think that there's certain words projects need to stay away from. And on that
Yep.
point, you're totally right, man. Because like that's true. I mean, lawyers, they should have lawyers to advise them on that stuff. But as a simple investor, as a simpleton investor, I mean, if you're just investing in NFTs for the long term, or because you really want that as like an asset and you want to, because I come from the collectibles market for sports cards. So when we invest in sports cards, that is an alternative asset. It's not
Yeah.
gold, it's not stocks, it's an alternative collectible asset, or Yeezys. It's an alternative investable asset that we can either flip, use, or just sell in a later date, So
Yep. But the like Top Deck or whoever you're buying the cards from, they're not saying they're going to use their money to like fund their company necessarily, and give you rewards back. But let's talk about Nifty for a bit. It looks like
That's a good
they're
point,
minting
by the way.
today. Yeah, it looks like they're minting today.
Oh,
Who-
Nifties. I don't know anything about Nifties, by the way, Timmy. So
Oh.
what is Nifties? Why don't you give us the spiel?
Yeah, I covered them. They were one of my first projects I covered back in like November, December, way before their first mint. And then they ran into some issues with like their
Is
artists
that the
actually like,
knitted kind of
yeah,
project?
yeah,
Oh,
I'm bringing
okay,
it
yeah,
up
yeah.
right
They
here.
have like a world too, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I got it up here. So they, when I covered this last year, absolutely beautiful. And I always like the website that matches the actual collection. So like super cool attention to detail on their website. But yeah, you can see the public mint. Oh, look, it looks like it's happening in 3 hours. There's a countdown here. Actually, let me get out of the way here. Oops, hold on. We're gonna do some fancy work here. I'm gonna move out of the way. You see my dancing moves? I can kind of move left and right. But
It looks like you're a puppet on a popsicle stick.
so let me get out of the way. You can see the count. Yeah. You can see the countdown here. It looks like it's happening in
Throw
3 hours.
tomatoes at you so you can dodge them. That'd be hilarious.
Looks like it's happening in 3 hours. So I've been following this project for a while. It looks like it's going to be happening for 45 to 60 ADA. So maybe that's the pre-sale versus the public sale. Curious if anyone knows. But yeah, today's Nifty World Day. A lot of stuff happening there. I want to see if I can show some of their actual, here, showcase. So yeah, as you were saying, they're kind of this knitted style. One really cool thing is they're using funds. At least when I was talking to the project founder in December, he said he was using some of the funds to give to children's hospitals. Actually, I think he said like his partner's mother actually knits clothing for children's hospitals. So his real life mother is a knitter, and they're going to use some of the funds, and she's going to knit actual clothing and give it to the sick children, which I think is a beautiful mission. Now this was in December. I think that might still be the case. And correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat. But I thought that was pretty cool. We can cover the utility section in a minute, but the FAQ is all here as well. How much will it cost? Yeah, okay, 60 ADA. So pre-sale is 45 and public is 60, and it's happening today. So see if we can confirm that here. Yeah, March 5th. So it's happening
There's
today.
so many mints happening actually right now. Chibi Dango, Frescos happening next weekend, and then Metadams. A lot of mints are happening. It'll be interesting to watch that congestion. It looks like it's doing better than normal, but we'll see.
Yeah, hasn't the blockchain been off the hook lately? It's been like really, really fast.
I've noticed it's incredibly quick.
Yeah.
But who knows? I'll watch it this weekend and stuff.
Pre-sale already happened. When was the pre-sale, OG? Can you let us know in the chat there? I'm curious, when was the pre-sale? Because some projects have started doing the pre-sale just like a few hours ahead of the public sale, which is kind of cool because it means that like the secondary market doesn't get too far ahead. When they do the whitelist or the pre-sale like a day or 2 days in advance, the public sale people kind of miss on that secondary post mint, heat.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's nice when there's not a huge gap there. I'd be curious to know when the pre-sale was. Maybe it was earlier today.
Yeah, that'll be
Hold on.
interesting. And then after this, Timmy, I was thinking we could do a quick wrap-up segment if you didn't have any other things on the docket. I know that we were kind of going to hint at what we're trying to do with the Gauntlet in perpetuity, and that would be kind of a fun way to end the show.
Yeah, let's do that. I actually don't see anything on JPG Store, which is interesting. So I'm curious if the pre-sale has happened yet, or maybe they're selling but not minting yet. So that's interesting. Yeah, Rob, this is an interesting point here by Rob. Pre-sales are interesting. So do you know about that? Like,
yeah.
how would that work? Is the idea that the team will? Oh, hold on. Is the idea that the team will like sell their own on the marketplace?
Dude, I'm actually a big fan of projects that sometimes don't do any pre-selling, to be honest with you. Like, I just think that that's a little bit more fun, and it's a little healthier maybe for the project too. But I'm not like against people doing pre-sales. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if there was no pre-sale, it'd be fine with me,
Okay, we can wrap up the show. There is a question about Cardano Village. I'm not going to touch that one this week. Last week, I talked about Cardano Village a lot. I'm just going to stay away from Cardano Village. But Crypto, if you have something good
I
to
have
say,
nothing
you
against. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see these projects, especially like Cardano Village. Some of these projects succeed. I mean, I think when projects succeed on Cardano, we all succeed. So we should, as YouTubers, try to highlight not just what we own. And I used to own some Cardano Village, and then I flipped it and made a profit, like I said I was going to. And now I don't own any, but I might buy some back up. The prices seem to be, an interesting place with the land deeds, so I might do that as a play. But as a YouTuber, what we want to do is kind of highlight good work in the ecosystem, I think, and that's what I try to do. But yeah, this was sick, wasn't that so cool?
I love this. Let me make you small again. There you go. So yeah, this is Cardano Village here. This is actually in Gangnam, the Gangnam district of Seoul. And I actually lived here. I lived in Gangnam for a year. I lived in Korea for 10 years. So I know exactly where this building is. And this is a huge billboard. This is Gangnam. You guys know the Psy song, Oppa Gangnam Style. So this is like the Times Square.
Oh, is that what it is? That's crazy.
Yeah. You know the Psy song where he's like doing the horse dance, Oppa Gangnam Style. That's this district.
Yeah, dude.
Gangnam Style.
Guess that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's actually Gangnam. And so this is like the Times Square of Korea, basically. And they got this huge billboard there. So big shout out, for Cardano Village. And I've talked to the founder quite a bit. His name is Dakgalbi, which is like spicy chicken. It means spicy chicken. It's a beautiful dish. But he's also done a bunch of subway advertisements, like in the metro, for Cardano. I don't know if I'll be able to bring it up easily here, but I really like what he's doing to promote Cardano. I'll say that much.
I just would have done that advertisement for the content, I think that even if not one person signs on to Cardano or Cardano Village, I think that just having that on Twitter it did just explode. So I think it's a smart marketing thing, not even for the actual marketing in Korea, but who knows? Because you just don't know where some of these cities, how many people would recognize that and be like, wow, that's Cardano Village. And I know the team is based around there, I'm pretty sure, right, Timmy? So maybe there's a community inside that too that's also based in there.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. You talked about maybe a wrap up in the direction of the show. I'm curious to know what you'll say there. I'm curious to learn about the direction myself. Go ahead. Help us wrap up here, Crypto. What's on your mind?
Yeah. So you're curious. So I think where we're trying to go with this show, and correct me if I'm wrong, Timmy, is to make it a very diverse show, kind of like ours. You know, I know when I first started watching you, it seemed like you covered metaverse, DeFi, and NFTs. We had a huge NFT cycle. I noticed that you did cover NFTs a lot more and some metaverse. But me and Timmy have talked, and we definitely don't want to lose the holistic aspects of both of our kind of Cardano research personalities. So we are introducing the Genius today. We are introducing the metaverse topics today because the last two gauntlets we did see that they were mostly NFTs, and we think as investors, you know, some people might not want to say that word, some people do. I don't really care. I think that, you know, a lot of us are investors.
Yeah.
This cycle of DeFi will provide opportunity to the investment side of Cardano, at least maybe not from like a get rich quick opportunity, but from an educational opportunity to then utilize DeFi in a very healthy way for your portfolio.
Yeah, I think you hit it. I think it's common knowledge that see, you know, man, that a lot of yeah, feel free to
appreciate
bring
ya.
up all the chats, J Crypto, go nuts.
99 no man, appreciate
pre-
you, boss.
It's pretty common knowledge. Well, that
Quinn, appreciate
crypto
you.
kind of goes through cycles, right? There's kind of like subsectors of crypto, and actually, why don't we do this to kind of put at least a bit of science behind this? I'm actually going to share my screen again, and I think I'll come to the right. Oops. I think I'll come back to the right side because I like it over here. But if we bring up like coin market cap, you'll notice how we have like sectors, right? Where they'll have like different groups here, like DeFi, NFT, metaverse, and then they've got all the layer ones here.
Mhm.
Well, I think the crypto ecosystem rotates through these subsectors, and I think it's fair to say that Cardano does the same thing as well. And I think we're seeing some of that now. I think there's going to be a ton of DeFi and DEX projects launching between now and July. A lot of them are waiting until June because that's when SIP33 reference scripts comes out. So, you know, late June, early July, there's going to be a ton of DeFi projects coming. So I think from now all the way up until July, we're going to be kind of in the DeFi mode. And it feels like people are cycling a little bit out of an NFT into DeFi. But then I think coming out of that in the fall, we might come back into NFTs. And then, you know, maybe in the winter, and this is pure speculation, I have no idea exactly the dates, but we are going to cycle to metaverses and games again. So that's when maybe cornucopias will be really, really hot, and we can learn more about what Rob and his team are doing. But yeah, I think we're going to cycle between DeFi, gaming, metaverse, and then NFTs over and over for the next few years within Cardano, just the way the broader crypto sector does as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would also add to some real fi to that because I think I'm a huge real estate guy and I'm interested for more real fi kind of that can mix between those three industries and projects that can mix between those three. But the one thing I wanted to mention, Timmy, is the other thing I would love to cover a little bit, and sometimes I don't, but I really actually want to, and I've kind of been inspired to recently, is we're seeing these narratives of people say that Cardano is being suppressed, you know, a little bit here. We have a lot of DeFi. We're not showing up on some of these bigger sites. We're not being, you know, maybe picked for social media app integrations, but we're just so early, you know, and a lot of people still don't understand the tech behind Cardano. So I definitely also want to take the show in that educational aspect for onboarding maybe people that are interested in, hey, what's the actual difference? I've heard all blockchains have different pros and cons. So what are the pros and cons of Cardano versus other chains? Because that's a big, you know, gateway to have some people that want to be where the puck is going on a blockchain with a lot of substance to position themselves to at least hear and hear a different perspective. And maybe they agree, maybe they don't, but I definitely have looked at a lot of blockchains. I didn't start on Cardano, but I landed here for good reason. So it's interesting. And then obviously we also have Timmy, can you take your shirt off? You looked ripped. So
what's that?
Somebody asked you to take your shirt off for them real quick.
Oh, they thought I looked ripped. Oh, like working out.
No, they do think that you look ripped. They do. They're giving you a compliment. They're saying that you're a muscular cat.
But some people say I look a little bit chubby, so I'm trying to figure out like
Yeah,
which
I've
which
heard
one
that.
is it? You've heard that I look chubby?
I think compared to 2D Timmy, you are looking a little bit, you put on a few pounds, but
A little bit thick.
yeah. Sometimes. But dude, you look great. You're looking great, since the whole dimensional, change. And I just support it, man.
Yeah, I actually was going to show you guys. I actually have been spending a little bit of time in the gym. You can see me here. This is what I look like when all my clothes are off, just doing some pull-ups. This is before I had my color change, but yeah, that's how I got ripped right there.
Wow. Now,
It
was
is.
that just one pull-up that you put on loop there, or was that a bunch? Like, what's the real truth?
No, that's I can count them out for you. That's 56,
Oh, okay.
57, 58 coming up. So yeah, there I am, working hard.
So it's not a loop or anything. That's what I thought, Dude, that's awesome. We promote physical fitness for cats. We promote physical or mental fitness for education here on the Gauntlet.
All right, let's maybe call it. So we're going to do another episode next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. 2 p.m. Eastern is also when Adatropolis is going to be minting. So get ready for that next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I think 11 a.m. Pacific. You'll be able to grab your Adatropolis. I think they're minting next Saturday. 47 Ada. Yeah.
And thank you to Adatropolis for sponsoring today's Gauntlet segment. If there's a project watching maybe that, or a community member that wants to talk to a project, to just tell them to reach out to Timmy or myself, and we'll see if we can expose you here on the Gauntlet, get some feedback for you, and keep making those kind of strides to improve projects too.
All right. Well, stay safe, everyone. Stay positive. Maybe try to unplug a little bit, and let's pray for Ukraine. Let's pray for an end to the hostilities, in whichever way you pray or wish for. But yeah, let's really just hope for the best there, and send them our love and support if we can.
And war happens, I think, as Charles Hoskinson said, and he might have quoted somebody else, when communication breaks down. So I think that's a good quote to just remember in our personal lives too. And with that,
one super quick one, Jay Crypto. Do you want to plug any Twitter spaces? Like, when's your next Twitter space? I'd be curious. Is there one tomorrow? Is it Monday?
Yeah, I mean, if people want to come to them, it's very interesting. Rob was here. He comes to the Metaverse Monday at times. He, like I said, he's cool because he listens to hear kind of what we have to say. But sometimes he'll jump in if we really egg him on to, if we ask him to. Metaverse Monday is at 6 p.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. It's kind of a fun space where a lot of the community that's thinking to build in the metaverse on top of one of these platforms, as Timmy was saying earlier, can kind of come and say their ideas and brainstorm and give ideas to each other. Last week, we talked about guilds that are forming in Cornucopias. There's a lot of content I have planned for that. I think these guilds will be a huge deal. Rob has said guilds will be a big thing in Cornucopias. I think they'll be big for a lot of metaverse games.
Cat guild.
The cat guilds, the dog guilds, the guild that you would like to see. But anyways.
All right. Oh, hey, Rob will be on Twitter. Yeah. So let's see if we can let's hunt Rob. Follow Rob. Follow him on Twitter. Follow Cornucopias. And then when he jumps onto a Twitter space, let's see if we can jump onto there and kind of join wherever he is. We can stalk and hunt him in Twitter this evening. Maybe Charles will pop in. Maybe I'll jump in. I'll ask my dad to jump in because I'll probably be sleeping earlier this evening. But lately, my dad has been jumping into Twitter spaces. So yeah, you might see him. He steals my phone. And if you see Timmy there with a different voice, that's Timmy's dad, starting to be more public in the Twitter spaces. So heads up on that. Let's call it here. We'll see everybody next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I hope you have a great weekend and a great week.
Thank you to the Gauntlet audience. Let us know what else you guys would like to see and girls would like to see from us. Thank you.